The Senate Judiciary Committee has let everyone know that there will be a hearing on the Kavanaugh allegations on Monday, next Monday. And that is important. We don't know details about whether or not Kavanaugh is going to testify or if Ford's going to testify, but we do know that both parties have agreed to answer any questions that the Senate Judiciary Committee might have about these attempted rape allegations that Ford has accused Kavanaugh of. And this is important because remember, the Judiciary Committee was set to vote on Kavanaugh's confirmation this week on September 20th, but it appears that there will be a delay in that vote so they can make way for this hearing, which will take place a week from now. Now, there were some Republican senators who did call for a delay, and I want to give them some credit. First, there was Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona, and then Bob Corker of Tennessee, both Republicans who are retiring at the end of their terms, joined Democrats in urging a delay in the vote until the committee hears from Ford. The panel was scheduled to vote on Thursday afternoon on Kavanaugh's nomination, and as I mentioned, it doesn't appear that that will happen now that there will be a hearing next Monday.
A couple of things here, guys. One is Flake is on the Judiciary Committee, so without him, they could not have gone forward anyway. If he voted to not confirm or to not wrap up the proceedings, the Republicans had no choice. And he clearly indicated that he would not go forward. So now that Flake came out, let alone Corker, if they lose Flake and Corker on the overall vote, let alone Murkowski and Collins, they're toast. He won't even get confirmed. So now that they realize they can't just push this through as they were originally planning, then that's why the hearings begin on Monday. Because they're like, okay, well then we gotta hurry. Because if it lasts any longer, we might not make it before the midterm elections. So now that the couple of Republicans have forced their hand, the rest of the Republicans are going, okay, then let's go, let's get them in right now. Get Kavanaugh on, get her in, and let's try to wrap this thing up. That's what you're seeing today.
Exactly. So to give you Flake's statement, he said, I've made it clear that I'm not comfortable moving ahead with the vote on Thursday if we have not heard her side of the story or explored this further. He continues to say, for me, we can't vote until we hear more. And as Cenk pointed, he is a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, so it is important to have him on board. Also, keep in mind that Flake, just to be fair and full disclosure, he has been a vocal opponent and critic of Donald Trump, so that might be relevant to you. I want to make sure you know about that. Also, Bob Corker said the following: a delay would be best for all involved, including the nominee. If she does want to be heard, she should do so promptly. And if she does participate in this hearing next Monday, then it would be pretty prompt. So we'll see. Again, we don't know for sure whether or not she's agreed to testifying on Monday.
So Senator Collins is theoretically pro-choice, so she has to pretend that somehow Kavanaugh is not going to vote with the pro-life position, which he probably will. And he's voted against abortion rights in the past as a judge. So, but even for those who are pro-life, Corker, Flake, etc., well, they've got to. It would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they didn't hate Trump, okay? And if Trump had not attacked them over and over again. Because all the other Republicans stood firm. Let's go, let's get Kavanaugh in. Because we really need in their view, a pro-life justice, right? So we gotta, and they keep giving Trump credit because he got Gorsuch confirmed. They say that's one of the best moments of his presidency. I happen to think it's not that hard to get somebody confirmed. All you gotta do is pick a Republican when the Republicans are in charge and just make sure that they didn't commit attempted rape earlier. Oops, Trump couldn't even meet that bar. Anyway, we'll see how it winds up. But now, given how much Trump has antagonized Flake and Corker, when you get to what they consider to be a close call, because they do really want a pro-life justice on the Supreme Court, they go, nope, let's hear her out.
Yeah.
So that's Trump screwing himself by being, as usual, over the top, antagonistic to people he might need later. It's because he has no sense of politics or decorum or basically getting anything done.
Right, but also consider that even if Flake and Corker are vocal opponents or critics of Donald Trump, they have voted along with his policy proposals and basically do what he wants. But in this case, they're speaking out, and I still commend them for it, regardless of what their intentions are. I think that they're still doing the right thing. By the way, Senators Murkowski and Collins also released a statement about this. Murkowski saying, I think that might be something they might have to consider, meaning postponing the vote, at least having that discussion. This is not something that came up during the hearings. The hearings are now over, and if there is real substance to this, it demands a response. That may be something the committee needs to look into. And Collins also said, I want to have both individuals come before the Senate Judiciary Committee to testify under oath. Both individuals have agreed to do that. It just remains to be seen whether or not they're planning on doing it this coming Monday.
So those comments were before the news broke just a little while ago that the hearings are going to pick back up next Monday, but it's because of those comments that happened. Okay?
Exactly.
And then one more from Orrin Hatch, who is firmly on Kavanaugh's side and says he believes him. But he says, if that were true, Ford's allegations, I think it would be hard for senators not to consider who he is today. So even Hatch saying, well, if it's true, that's not good news.
Right, and Hatch so far has been defending Kavanaugh pretty aggressively.
Yes, so, very much so.
Yeah, one other part of this story that is, in my opinion, important. Last Friday, there was a letter released that was signed by about 65 women who know Kavanaugh, who have known him throughout the years, and who supported Kavanaugh and his character. They were vouching for him. Well, today there are individuals who have known the accuser, Christine Ford, and they are sticking by her side, and they have some allegations of their own that I think are interesting, not in regard to Kavanaugh, but I do want you to hear their statements. Now, this letter that was signed by women who have gone to school with Ford say the following: we believe Dr. Blasey Ford and are grateful that she came forward to tell her story. It demands a thorough and independent investigation before the Senate can reasonably vote on Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to a lifetime seat on the nation's highest court. This is the part that stood out to me. They also write, many of us are survivors ourselves. The letter had received 36 additional signatures as of Monday morning.
Just to be absolutely clear, they're not referring to Kavanaugh in specific in being survivors. So this is partly to counter the Republicans' letter that came out a day after the allegations, where they had 65 women. And by the way, I should correct the record on this. When we were discussing it, I said I thought those were women that knew Kavanaugh all throughout his career. No, those are 65 women that knew him back in high school till now, spanning that 35 years. So they did all know him from high school. They apparently got, the Republicans claimed they got those signatures within 24 hours. That seems totally unbelievable. So, and I think Anna made a terrific point about that on Friday. So how did the Republicans get this letter all ready to go to defend Kavanaugh if they didn't know about the charges? Now a lot of people made that point, but Anna added on top, remember when Mitch McConnell warned Trump, don't pick Kavanaugh, don't pick him, and he said it was because there was too much of a document trail. Too many documents? That's what Mitch McConnell was worried about?
Yeah.
Perhaps there were some Republican senators who already knew about this, had the letter prepared, and that's why they were telling Trump, don't do it. Could Trump, by the way, having heard the allegations, think, what's the big deal? I've been accused of similar things, and move forward anyway? Now we don't know yet, but it is curious that McConnell gave that warning, and it is curious that they had their letter ready to go immediately.
Absolutely, and also keep in mind that the paper trail or the documentation regarding Kavanaugh's decisions and rulings in the past, it was just par for the course when it comes to a conservative judge. There was nothing that really stood out during the confirmation hearings that would convince Republican senators to vote against Kavanaugh. So I remember during those confirmation hearings, I'm like, oh, something really bad's gonna come out. And nothing came out from those documents. I mean, nothing that would upset Republican senators. Of course, stuff came out that would upset progressives or left-leaning lawmakers, but overall, it was to be expected. The stuff that came out was to be expected. So I don't know, look, this is obviously my speculation, but I feel like McConnell was worried about these allegations that did come out.
No, it's really good point. It could be that McConnell was worried that it would take too long, and now it is taking too long, but not because of the documents. But it is also possible that McConnell thought, look, I got 51 votes and they're locked in. I don't have to worry about anything unless it's something so bad that the Republicans would have to vote against him. And so his warnings to Trump are at a bare minimum relevant and should be investigated as to what Republican senators knew before these allegations came out. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.